Hey, this is Joe. I want to start this podcast by telling you a story. The moment I realized I couldn't keep living the way I was. So here goes the story. For close to 2 decades, I worked as a social worker in Singapore's social service sector. On the outside, things looked fine. I was leading teams, mentoring youths, working with donors, reporting to management, doing work that mattered. But inside, I felt stuck. I was in middle management, and if you've ever been there, you know what I mean. You're expected to manage expectations from the top, protect the people below you, and somehow still perform. So, somehow along the way, I stopped asking why I started. I was running hard, but there was no finishing line. It felt like a hamster on a wheel, constantly moving, but never arriving. And if I'm honest, I had started living on validation, approval, performance, being seen as doing well. Deep down, I knew something wasn't right, but I kept going until I couldn't. Well, so the breaking point was in December 2021. Everything changed when basically the new workplace vaccine mandates were introduced. I made a personal decision that went against the direction the government and organizations were taking. So I was given an ultimatum. Either I resign voluntarily or to be terminated. And I had less than a month to decide. So on 14th of January 2022, I walked away from a stable job, a steady paycheck, and everything I had built over the years. I was the sole breadwinner for my family of four, and that decision was terrifying. But I knew this. I wasn't willing to trade my convictions for comfort. What followed were some of the hardest months of my life. There were no immediate job options. We entered a deep valley of financial uncertainty. I took on side gigs, whatever I could find. It became survival mode. Then one day, in April 2022, my younger son asked if we could go to our favorite cafe in the neighborhood. He wanted his usual order: chicken chop, cheese fries, and a cheesecake. I had to say no. We went to a hawker store instead. On the surface, it probably looked like a small parenting moment. But inside, I was wrecked. I felt shame, helplessness, a deep sense of failure. And that night, I made a vow. I will rise again, not for my ego, not for appearances, but for my boys. I wanted them to see what it looks like when a man doesn't give up, even when he's down. So that was the start of rebuilding and awakening the warrior within. We slowly created multiple streams of income, from coaching to training to speaking to wellness related gigs. But more importantly, something shifted in me. I stopped seeing life as something to secure and started seeing it as something to train and fight for. Eventually, we made the decision to relocate to Chiang Mai, Thailand. And we realized how fragile the system we trusted could be. One policy change and everything flipped. We wanted our boys to learn resilience, adaptability, responsibility. Chiang Mai became our training ground, our testing ground, and eventually our home. And along the way, the clarity came. I realized I wasn't alone. Many boys today are growing up without guidance, without initiation, without a clear path into manhood. We have removed rites of passage, and masculinity is either softened, distorted, or avoided altogether. And when boys are not guided, they don't stop needing direction. They just look for it elsewhere. That was when the warrior path began to take shape. And why this podcast exists is because of that journey. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to perform. I'm just here to walk alongside you. As a father of two boys, as a coach and mentor, and as a man still learning what it means to stand firm, this space is for honest conversations about manhood, purpose, discipline, and legacy. So if this story resonates with you, stay close. There's more to come.